welcome to Future Role Model, a podcast that praises the unconventional and redefines what it means to be a role model. Because, you know, being imperfect is kind of my favorite thing because I'm really good at that. And flawed people are interesting. And if you're perfect, you're boring and probably not my friend. And today I have a really amazing guest in the studio, Casey Balsham.
Hi.
You are in from New York City.
Sure am.
I just saw you in New York like a couple days ago.
This is true.
We had a lot of good late nights. God, New York is so good for that.
It's too good. It's too late. It's too much. There should be rules and there's not.
I know. Nothing. Well, when that's
Nobody
the same thing in Vegas, it's the same thing. Like nothing shuts down and there's no gauge of what's going on outside.
Miami, same thing.
Oh yeah,
but everything's outside.
Miami.
Yeah, it's Vegas, but it's outside and not as much, and no slot machines, but essentially like
and
they're
a little
awake all the
sweatier,
time. A little sweatier, and a lot more scooters.
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't even think about the scooters.
Oh girl, I went to one bachelorette party. I've been to Miami once for a bachelorette party. Well, twice. Like I did lunch there one day, but like for a bachelorette party, hammered. These guys let us just drive their scooters in the middle of traffic. I burned my leg, like everything. Anyway,
I've crashed a scooter twice. I don't trust them.
You can't like there was I was wearing one of those T-shirts that had the fake body on it. Out to a club.
Like a dude body or a lady body?
No, like a lady body.
Oh,
like
yeah.
an American flag bikini.
Yeah.
And I was wearing that out to a club with no pants on, just this shirt. And yeah, these guys were like, do you want to drive our scooters? Like in full on regular street traffic.
If I were to see somebody in that shirt, I feel like I would trust them to use my powered motor vehicle.
Girl, I got off that thing, burned the shit out of my leg. It was great.
I'm glad you told me that because I'm going to Miami soon for the first time. And I need to just know that I can't let myself get on a scooter.
Don't drive one.
Whenever I go to New York, I always warn friends because I like to climb on stuff when I'm drunk.
Yep.
Like I'm a very harmless drunk. Like I climb on things. I might pee in an alley, but like that's about the worst that it'll get.
Right.
But I climb scaffolding a lot. And so whenever I'm in New York, I tell my friends if we're drunk and it's everywhere. Like 4 a.m, please watch out because I'll end up like 3 stories up and then I won't know how to get down. I can't believe you never climbed with me. Now I'm pissed. Now it's going to get dangerous the next time I come out.
Now, next time we're there, I'm going to be like going to like an area that I know is under construction. I'll be like, Natasha,
how about that? I tried to climb a bulldozer once.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it's going to get crazy. I'm going to be in New York again in like 6 weeks. So
I know.
Yes.
All right, I'll find something for you to climb.
So Casey, God, when did we first met through Doug Fager? It's funny how we first met. Actually.
Yes, it is.
I'll tell the story from my perspective and then you can tell it from yours and then we'll see how well they match because I like that.
Perfect.
Because, okay, so a little backstory. Sorry, coffee has just arrived. So we're gonna get the coffees. Thank you for keeping Casey awake during her slight hangover.
Maybe still drunk.
Because
I'm a future role model.
You didn't drive, so it's okay.
No, a nice woman named Sophia drove us in a Kia Soul.
Oh, beautiful.
She sucked.
Sophia in the Kia.
Yeah, she sucked, right? She's a shitty, yeah.
Every time I've taken a Uber or Lyft here, I meet the coolest people, specifically when I come to this studio.
Really?
Last week, I had an evangelical lady who was like, Montel Jordan is our pastor. And she sent me a personal invite to her church in the South.
I'm so jealous of that. Montel Jordan?
Yeah. And she was like, she's like, Montel's my best friend. And I was like, okay, I'll totally come and hang out with you in Montel.
100%.
Anyway, so I met Casey. One of my best friends is Doug Fager. And him and I have been friends for like 7 years. So it was like around when me and Doug first started hanging out that I met you.
Probably, yeah. Which would have been,
this would have been 2000.
Yeah, this would have been like
2011, 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I was in LA for 4.5. Doing comedy for 4.5 before I moved to New York. Yeah.
So Doug and I used to run this show at Comedy Store. I used to have a show at Comedy Store and Doug used to host it for me.
Right.
And here's the thing, like if you're not in comedy, this is just kind of how comedy works, guys. When you get to a certain point, like we are now, we generally kind of know a lot of the people that are performing in all the cities. So, but if you don't know another comic and you meet them, you always hope that you recognize somebody, at least recognize a joke of theirs or whatever. But at least if you have a show that is comic run and other comics show up, you don't charge them. Like that's just a thing that you do.
Well, and at the store, like if you're a comic, you're able to like roam free to the rooms.
Yeah. And I used to roam around all the time too, but I hadn't met Casey yet. And so she came to come in.
Sandro was on your show and I was like coming up to watch Sandro.
And you were coming up and I don't remember if it was me at the door or who was at the door, but basically we were trying to charge you and you were like, I'm a comic. And like we hadn't met before and it was so fucking
Natasha
awkward.
was like, I don't care. I was like, I guess I'm not watching Sandro's set. And then I think you did, like, I think Doug was like, oh, I don't know what's happened. Like, Doug said something. I think he's like, I think she's just, I don't know. She says no, you know. I was like, that's fine. I was like, whatever was happening. But I think you actually came down and apologized.
Yeah,
like at some point,
so
or
bad
sent me
afterwards.
a message or something
I
like
felt
that. Because
so,
you were like,
so bad
I don't care.
afterwards.
Everybody's got to pay to come in. And I was like, it's cool. Like, I'm like, whatever. And then
it must have been one of those nights where it was like fucking, because it used to get so crazy. Yeah. And then the Comedy Store was like switching over at that point. This was like my second year running the show. They were switching over where they were kind of like watching that you weren't just letting people in.
Right.
So like somebody was always kind of like around, kind of keeping an eye.
Right. Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure.
And so it was so awkward. It's always so awkward when you make a fuck up like that with another comic because you're like, God, I feel like such an ass. I felt like an ass for like a year. And then now it's fine and now it's funny.
Yeah.
But,
and then you came and then she came and stayed at my house.
Yeah. Like multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you asked Robbie if you could stay. And I was like, and I didn't know you at the time. And all I knew was this situation. And I was like, I get, because Robbie was like, he's like, she's a nice girl. He's like, I was like, I'm fine with her staying at our house. And then me and you just got day drunk.
Yeah. And it was like, if you ever need to just like squash any sort of like little weird looming thing,
in New York.
Drink rosé and go bar hopping in New York.
Yeah. Now you've been back 85 million times and we always hang out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how things work.
So, the best friendships are cultivated from the weirdest situations.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you grew up in California, Northern California.
Yeah. I grew up in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I grew up in San Francisco and then I was like that kind of person that was like I love my parents and I still have a great relationship, but I was like, I want to get the far as fuck away from, this. And I was like, I'm going to school in Florida or New York. And then I found out how much it was. I was like, I'm going to school as far away in California as I can go.
At least California is really long, so you can actually do that.
But then it's so funny because I was very much like, I went to a college prep school, but I was very much a C student. Like I didn't give a fuck. Like I think the only time I got good grades was like second semester senior year when it doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? So I was like, I didn't get into Chico, I don't think, and I didn't get into like San Diego State, and I think the only ones I got into were like Northridge and Cal State Long Beach, and I like literally I went to Northridge, I like did all the tours and all this stuff, and I was like, great, and like I can't even imagine like if I actually went there, and then I like drove past Long Beach State, and I was like, no, that one.
Yeah,
I was like, there's no fucking way I'm going to Northridge. So yeah, so I went to school in LA. So then I was in LA, and then I was in Maui, where I met my friend Mel. That's how you guys.
So Mel is in the studio too, but she's hiding in the corner like she's on timeout or something.
So me and Mel were roommates in Maui, and then I moved back to LA, started comedy, and then New York. I mean, I started comedy before I moved to Maui, but like not real.
Yeah.
And then when I moved back from Maui, that's when I like started doing like mics and all this stuff. Like before Maui, I did it like once a month.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm a comic. I'm a regular at the store because I was doing like bringers.
Yeah, I know.
I had no idea what anything
That's
meant.
what I used to be very careful how I would say that. I would say I regularly perform here. I wouldn't call myself a regular because I was like...
And I had no idea. Like, I didn't even care. I was like, I perform at the Comedy Store. And I performed once a month at a fucking bringer. But I would have like my girlfriends from San Francisco would like drive down. Like twice I had friends from San Francisco drive to LA to come see me do 7 minutes.
Well, and my show that I used to have there was monthly, but because it was like a Chicago-based show, like all my friends would come.
Sorry.
She just sticks her gum to the top of a...
It's a boba lid too.
It's like it's a smushy lid.
The coffee and the mint were
this is for the people that are on Patreon and see the video. It'll be a fun little nugget for you to find.
Hello.
Anyway, I totally forgot what I was saying. Anyway.
When you were saying like you wouldn't say like you're a regular at the store.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I used to have to be really careful with that stuff. And now I just kind of tell people exactly what it's when you get further into comedy, you're just like, hey, these are where I perform, but I'm not like a regular at them.
Yeah. Unless you like,
unless you are, and then you can say that.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like the word like regular also like stems, like people will say the regulars, but I mean, I feel like it's really like means a lot at the store because then you have your like name on the wall.
On the wall.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's like you can still, because I would say like that I guess you're right. Like now I say I perform, like if I send a message to someone, I say I perform regularly at Gotham and New York Comedy Club.
Yeah.
Because I'm there a couple times a month, which is, you know.
Yeah, and you get preferred spots.
It's regularly, yeah. But yeah, you're right. I wouldn't say I'm a regular. Yeah,
like I'm one of their head, because like people always ask you that too when you're like traveling places. They're like, where are you at every week? And you're like, it doesn't work that way.
People are always like, where do you perform? And I've actually found myself though, like I get it. Because sometimes when I meet a comic in New York that I haven't met before, I'll be like, where do you perform? And then I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know that it's going to be like a pizza place and this place and like sometimes in Bushwick, you know, like I know the drill. Yeah. But like it is really funny when people are like, where are you at? Where do you perform? And I'm like, I don't just like stay in one place. I'm like, I'm not like running a one woman show. You know?
I know. Every night you can catch me at 8 p.m.
Yeah, at this theater.
I mean, that'd be cool, but
yeah. So, but you're right. But it is funny because, like, you know, my roommate's a booker. You know, Amy's a booker.
Yeah.
So she'll let me like read emails, or like we'll see emails of people that will email her and be like, I'm a regular at the Comedy Store, and she's like fuck, you're not. She's like, I know who
all of the regulars.
Yeah, but it is funny that like it is kind of like a new comic thing to do, to like if you perform like once or twice there, you're like, I'm a regular, and it's like you're not though.
Well, and then
but we try to like make ourselves sound better.
I mean, you have to. I mean, you've got to be your own biggest advocate because nobody else is going to do it for you. No. So in a way, you have to do that. But when you get to a certain point, you're like, okay,
but you can't also lie.
You can't lie,
especially if you're garbage. Yeah, which most of the people are. I find out the trashier you are, the more you drop your credits. You know what I mean? Like I perform here and here and here, and it's like you suck. You know what I mean? Like real comics will just be like, I would love to be considered. Like I'm a comic in LA. You know what I mean? Like
I like whenever I'm reaching out to some place that I haven't been before, or even if I'm just going to be in town somewhere and would love to do a guest spot, I'll just be like, hey, I work in LA.
I've been doing, I don't even tell them how long I've been doing comedy. I'll just send a clip
here's
and
my
just
press
be like,
kit. I just send them my press kit. And I'm like, you make your own decision. I'm not going to try to convince you one way or the, because no matter what, somebody bigger than you is always in town, unless you're in like Iowa.
Right.
Like, but even I've been in Milwaukee before, and I have so many friends that live in Milwaukee, and I'm from Wisconsin, and I've hit up those clubs, and they're like, we stick with locals. And I'm like, okay.
Ooh, speaking of, I really want to do, I heard Comedy on State is so good.
Comedy on State is the best.
If you're listening Comedy on State, I would like to do 12 minutes at your club.
I will connect you. I will connect you at the end of this. Yeah.
Yes, because me and Robbie we always look at the lineups. We're like, they're doing it right. Like they have the best fucking lineups.
Yep.
And we've heard it's a great club, and we both are like, I want to go over there. I just want to like do new things that I haven't done. It's also like I want to see where my material works. You know,
you guys should come with me, do it like a Chicago Madison run, and I'll just intro you to all those.
Yes. And then we want to go back to Chicago this summer anyway. Yeah. So let's make it happen.
Okay, we'll talk about that after.
Off air.
Off air. We make the whole plan.
Get on Kayak,
Natasha.
Can we
borrow your laptop, Paul? Can we just go ahead and Google?
We need to get on the search engine.
Oh man,
let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, we will.
Because we messaged the guy from the Laugh Factory saying we wanted to come back anyway because they're so dope over there. In that clip,
so cool.
I got that clip on their Instagram that's got over 1 million views. I mean, and then like 1,000 comments telling me that people hate me. I was making Mel read them the other day.
Oh, the comments on comedy are so evil. Like I just don't. I can't even read them about my friends. The only persons I've read are Jessa Reed's, because when she did her Comedy Central debut on This Is Not Happening, she just so good. Well, and she rips into herself already. Like you can't make fun of that.
Also, like if you're listening to this and you're not a comic, like please feel free not to comment. Like you don't know what you're fucking talking about. Like no, like all these people like literally even on Robbie's Conan, people are like, I see what he was trying to go for, but I don't think he accomplished it. It's like, who are you? What are you?
You think you're a critic? You sit in a lazy boy and watch football every Sunday all day.
You have no idea how anything works. Everybody's terrible. Everybody sucks. People are terrible. Garbage.
I would love to have a show where we just sit and watch like cameras of people working at their desk and just live comment on like, looks like you can type really good, Bob.
Well, there was this kid like, and I don't listen. This is like the psychopath in me that was like, because I wasn't even looking at comments on my own clip. I was looking at comments on another female's clip because it's obviously like all the women, people were like, garbage, trash, you suck. And it's like, guys suck too. Why do you have to yell at us? And you're like, we all suck. But like, I was looked at this one kid and he was like, and he literally just wrote like, women aren't funny. And I just clicked on his profile and it's like a 17-year-old kid that has a picture and like literally like, I think his quote on Instagram was like, I love my mother or something like that. And I wanted to message and be like, does your mom know that you fucking troll women? Like that you feel the need to comment about how you hate women on, and I'm just like,
and then you're like, I'm going to find his mom, and then I'm going to message him and be like,
and I'm going to go to his
you
house.
raised a terrible child.
I'm going to kick his dog. I'm like pissed. But I literally did. And like Robbie had to like reel me in. Like but Melanie was like, can I go? Like Melanie was reading shit. She's like, yeah, Melanie's like, I'm going to go comment on everybody. She's like, there's like 964 comments. She's like, I'm going to ask all of them who they think they are. I'm like, get it, girl. Mama 3 on my back.
I mean, you kind of need an anti-troll to go through and attack your trollers.
Yeah, she's got her iPhone 2 over there. She's gonna kick ass. Like, look at her. She still has the charger that has the fat house.
Oh my God.
Like it's like the one
that is the oldest phone I've ever seen in my life.
She didn't even know. Like I was trying to take a boomerang. She's like, what is this video you're taking? Like she had no idea. She's like, Casey's trying to take, she was trying to like make me sound like crazy in front of my friends last night. She's like, she wanted me to take this video or something like that. I'm like, it's a boomerang. They're like, yeah, it's a boomerang. She's like, oh, you guys know what that is. It's like, yeah,
what does your phone hold? 8 Gs or what?
I don't know because
maybe 16.
Yeah, she hasn't taken a single picture this trip. I gotta email them.
That's amazing.
I gotta email. Are you still at AOL?
You are living in
I'm
the
at
90s.
Hotmail. I'm at Hotmail though. They've really cleaned it up over there.
I've always made fun of friends that have Hotmail, and when you told me you had Hotmail,
girl, it looks so good over there. I know, and I always usually will be like, see balsham@hotmail.com, don't judge, and people are like, okay, because I full on, but like that's where all my things are.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone's like, I was like emailing with somebody and he's like, you know that you can like just reroute it to a Gmail. I hate Gmail. I don't understand it over there. I barely can get to compose.
You know what? Stay with what makes you happy.
Girl, it's so nice over there now. Like they've really they've really cleaned it up.
Gmail is very flooded and, you know, Hotmail probably has a lot of space.
Because the Hotmail, I mean, like how else am I going to find an email from 2009?
It's true.
It's still there. Mm-hmm. I don't delete anything.
I don't delete anything either.
I have 8,000 fucking emails.
Oh my God. My friend was freaking out on me the other day because my inboxes, one of them's at 83,833.
See, that will make me crazy.
One's at 48,277 and one's at 24,123.
You're a psychopath.
I know. Eventually I'll get to them. Like if somebody hears from me that hasn't messaged me for 7 years, that's why. I'll eventually see it. Anyway, I guess we should...
Melanie uses lemons for deodorant, and I told her it doesn't work because she was like, "Can I borrow your deodorant?" And I was like, "She's like, actually, when we get to the restaurant, I'll just rub a lemon on there." And I was like, "This is not how we live in America."
That's terrifying. Doesn't that burn?
No.
I'm not ever going to try it. I'm never going to try that.
I'm never going to try it.
I love terrible for my skin, old school deodorant. Girl, it's thick and white.
Secret, I know. I'm like, if it's not on my shirt, it didn't happen. If it's not all over my outfit, is it even happening? But we were like at Cotton on yesterday trying on stuff after the beach though. This bitch wanted to get ready in the beach bathrooms to go out in the night. She's like, "Can we just rinse off?" And I was like, "No,
not in the beach bathrooms.
No,
homeless
not
people
in
live
Monica.
inside of those."
I know. And she's like, "We want to rub lemon and get ready at a bathroom at the beach." I was like, "You have a home. Like, why are you acting like this?"
I put so much deodorant on that when I do hot yoga, it like balls up and falls off.
Oh my God.
Has that happened to you before?
Yes, at hot yoga. And then I'm like literally in downward dog and they're like, focus, be so focused. And I'm just like rubbing. I'm like rubbing my own
I do that too.
ball.
I push it into my own mat.
Yes. I do it all the time. That's when I go to hot yoga like once every other month.
Well, this has been Future Role Model, guys.
Yeah, we're really good. Do you know if you buy the yoga pants, does it make you better at yoga? Which I was sad to learn.
Oh, yeah.
I got lots of pants.
You can look all sorts of yoga. There's a woman that works out next to me often, and she's gorgeous. She's probably in her 50s, but she has fake boobs. She's a really good yogi, but I swear to you, when there's not music on, I can hear her boobs squeaking inside of her body, and it's the most eerie thing.
Stop.
I can hear them.
Old squeaky tits?
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Squeaky tits. Listen, if you're getting your tits done, make sure that they don't squeak them out. I want to get fake boobs when I'm 60. I feel like at that point I'll deserve them.
And
Yeah.
Yep.
And Maui, I used to just always see these women that were just everything about them was sagging, but they just were orange with like metallic bikinis and like their tits were on their chest, like the tits were on their shoulders. And I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
When
It
I'm
looks
60.
like just a rock. Why not?
Just, yeah. I just feel like I will have, I'll have lived with B cups for a really long time. I feel like we all deserve tits when we're 60.
That's what you should get
I
with
told
your
my dad. Maybe he'll pay for it.
with your social security check.
Yeah.
You should get your first pair of tits or your
I
second,
should.
depending
At least
on
like
what
one.
kind of life
What
you've
if I only
led.
got like one? What if I got one fake tit? Just fuck it. I got one nipple pierced. I got one fake tit.
Just have two completely different halves of your body.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Maui. Let's talk about just pre-comedy Casey.
Oh my God.
Because
she was a mess.
I didn't meet you until you were already in comedy. So I want to know more besides what I already know. But like when you went to school in Long Beach,
Yeah.
what did you go to school for?
Theater. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. What the hell? My parents were
But you
so
didn't
pissed.
graduate, did you? You quit.
No, I walked, but I technically still have a science credit left to take.
Oh, wow.
And every year my dad's like, you should take that science credit. I'm like, nobody's ever checked. Like, nobody cares. Like, you know what I mean? Like for what I'm doing, like I never have to walk on stage and be like, here's my diploma. But I did 4.5 years. No, I finished. I like full on walked, had a graduation party, collected all the money, never sent thank you cards. Still feel bad about it. Sorry. Like had a huge graduation party and I never did my thank you cards and I feel terrible. No, I went to school for theater. Yeah. And then just like, it's so funny. Even like last night, like Melanie and all my friends were like telling stories about me that they remember that I'm like, what did I do? Like, I don't remember anything. But I'm actually surprised that there's people that are still friends with me that I knew in high school or in college because I was wild.
I was wild too.
Wild.
And I think that's why we get along now. 'Cause we're
Probably.
like still wild, but
Yeah.
we're like at least adulty too.
At least. But like, I'm honestly like, it's so scary to say that like, I'm shocked that I have never woken up like in a gutter or something because like, man, did I just walk around in costumes a lot?
Me too.
Like just running the streets of Long Beach in wings. Like this is,
Oh my gosh. And I used to, like, I was just talking about this about my years in Chicago.
Yeah.
When I started comedy, I had I feel like I've always been a slightly aware person, but I was
Yeah.
young. And so I went out by myself. If there was nothing to do, I would just go out by myself. There was a couple times that it was like raining in Chicago and I was like, I'm just going to go out in something
just gonna go
that I
out.
can walk in. I'm just going to walk in the rain and I just show up at these like clubs by myself
Just
wet. And
soaking wet.
and they would just let me in because they were like, this poor girl is just soaked.
oh, this girl's clearly
And
out
I'd
of her mind.
walk home through the alley every single time, and I was just like, I wasn't careful whatsoever.
No,
And
man.
I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here.
We are sitting in a pop-up comedy studio.
Yes,
We're here.
Just raging life.
No, yeah. Like I honestly, like college was crazy and it's so funny. It is really funny. Like I noticed that like all the friends that I've made along the way are all still like friends with the same group of people. And I'm like the one that just is like kind of like moved on, I think, and all the things. Cause like all my girlfriends, the core group of girlfriends that I met in college all still hang out. Like they all have kids and they all get together like every weekend. And it's so funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
But I'm honestly surprised that anybody still talks to me because I just did crazy shit.
Oh
I
my
did
God.
crazy shit.
I'm glad
I mean,
we
like,
didn't know each other back in that day. It would have probably been dangerous.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. I had the one nipple pierce or just, I'm probably like, I mean, thank God there was no internet when I was in college because my tits would have been all over it.
I know, mine too.
All over it.
Because I got my one nipple pierced the night before a frat party or the night
Nice.
of a frat party.
Yeah.
And the whole time we were in the frat party, people were bumping it. And I was like, I got to go back tomorrow and get the other one pierced because if I'm going to go through this hell, I got to go through it with both nips. Did you ever get your other one done? It was just the
No.
one.
And my reasoning was that because I was like, well, I want to breastfeed eventually. Like I was just like the, I don't know. I just had the one and I got it taken out when I went to Maui because it started working its way out of my nipple.
Oh,
like I started to be able
ouch.
to see the metal. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
this is gross. But I had it for many years. But they also pierced it with like a bigger gauge than like, because my roommate in college had hers done and I would make her show everyone. So she's like, get your own. So I did. And then our other roommate got it. So it was just three of us running around with fucking pierced tits. It was so funny because I still have like a hole, like I can still like squeeze stuff out of it, which is very fun.
Yeah, sexy.
Oh, totally. And I used to do... I worked at a restaurant and I used to like sometimes like in the back room, I would just like squeeze and get the stuff and like wipe it on my friend. And he was like, you are the grossest of the gross. And I was like, listen, let's go serve some food, huh?
when I got mine done in college, we like lived. They did this cruelest thing to us in college. They had a piercing and tattoo place right on the corner next to the Super Block at the University of Minnesota, and so you'd walk by it every day. And so I got my first tattoo when I was 18 in college. I got my nipples pierced, got my nose pierced, got my tongue pierced, got just basically everything that you could pierce. I was just like, let's just pierce
my
them.
tongue so bad. My parents were like, you can only do your ears, so I got 8 on one side and 4 on the other.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
I can only do my ears. I'm just going to do all of my ear.
Every so often, I want to poke them all through and like put it.
You should. It would actually be.
But I remember when I was in college and my best friend looked at me. She's like, "Grow up, take all those earrings out." And I was like, "Okay, fine." But so you got it. So they had it right at college.
They had it right on the corner.
Oh my God.
And so me and like 2 other girls also went. And then when I went back and got my second one, you know how you had to swish them with salt water?
Yes.
So I got red Solo cups, and every night I'd be in the communal bathroom with my boobs in a red Solo cup of hot salt water, just swishing them around, and it was a co-ed floor. So people would just walk in and I'd be in a towel waist down. And I would just like swishing my boobs in these Solo cups. And then, somebody would walk in and be like, "Oh, it's just Tosh. She's just cleaning out her nips again."
Do you still have them done? Mm-hmm. How many years has it been?
Oh my God, I got them done when I was 18, so I'm 33 now. I don't want to do math.
And they're still fine.
They're great.
Yeah, because mine eventually, it was so weird. Mine was like, because you know how they say sometimes like your body can start to reject like piercings and things like that. So yeah, it was starting to like, I wonder what would have happened if I would have just let it, if it would have just like come out like a magic trick, just like come out of my nipple, because it was like starting to be like where when I looked at my nipple, like I could see the metal through it. Oh, like it was coming towards the front of my tit. And I was like, I think it's time. But I moved to Maui when I was 20, on my 25th birthday. So I guess I probably had it done, for like 7 years then.
Yeah.
Which is so funny. Like when I think about that, I'm like, I can't believe I had a fucking. And because like I said, it was like a cow ring, like because they pierced it with like a bigger gauge than they were supposed to. Yeah, and I don't know if it's because of the size of it, because like everyone has like cute like dainty ones, and I had like a fucking bullhorn, like like my nipple, like it was aggressive. Just the one, like it's like
a door knocker.
Yeah, I honestly think that Robbie probably wouldn't have dated me if I still had that in there. Like he just thinks so much of that stuff is gross. Like
Justin would have dated me if I still had, because I took my tongue ring out before I left Chicago. One night in a bar, I was saying goodbye to Chicago with one of my friends.
Oh my God, you took your own tongue ring out?
Took it out, buried it.
That's so funny.
I gave a small memorial to it.
That's so funny. I always wanted to get my tongue done. I'm glad I didn't, but I remember when like I was like 16 or 17 and everybody was getting their tongue pierced. Everybody. And I was so mad. I was like, "Oh, my tongue pierced." And everybody would just like play with it.
It was horrible. It sucked.
But it seems like that would have been, like thinking back on it, like that probably a pain I couldn't have taken.
Yeah, no, it was
like that seems like it would hurt.
You forget how much you need your tongue until you can't use it, and then you're like, wow.
But also like, I've accidentally bit my tongue and wanted to like run into traffic, like stick a needle down there.
It's not good.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't. I still think about getting my nose pierced though.
You could do that.
Like there's times, because my friend just got hers done as like a grown up. Like she has 2 kids and she's like, 36 and just got hers done, and it looks so cute. And like sometimes, every so often I think about being like, I could do a little stud. Like I could pierce my nose. You know what?
I had the stud and then I took it out, so that's closed up. But I still like the little like middle thing, whatever that's called on people sometimes. So I have a clip-in one.
Really?
And I just wear it sometimes.
Oh my God, so funny. So funny. That one, I always, because people then will like tuck it in, and I always think that it's weird because when they have like,
looks like shiny boogers.
Yeah. Because it's just like, just let it fly, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still every so often think about getting a little nose piercing, because I never had it. Plus, it seems like pretty minimal. Like you can just kind of like have it for a little bit and then just take it out.
Get rid of it. Yeah. So after you left Long Beach, that's when you went to Hawaii, right? Or shortly thereafter?
I graduated college in 2004, and and then just like started working at restaurants, just partying, kind of dabbled in stand up a little bit. So, because how old are you when you graduate college? Like 22, 23 or something like that. Yeah, and I just kind of didn't know what I wanted to do. I was working at a video dating place, like full on. Like, do you remember in Borat when he went to that place called Great Expectations?
Yeah,
that's where I worked. I worked at a video dating thing where people would come in and we'd like video. It was like
matchmaking service, but videos.
Yeah,
kind of.
But like terrible. Like it was like we would run credit checks on people when they walked in, so we knew how much money that they made, so we knew what to offer them. It was fucking terrible. I mean, like when I was working, I was like doing sales, and like we'd have to like say like horrible things like, "Oh, well, you're 40 and single. What is there to think about?" Like things like that. But it was also like all these old men.
And having a 22-year-old say that to you is just like gotta be the worst thing.
I'd be in like gold flip-flops. Like, like, don't listen to me. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I remember my boss one time was like, I need you to dress a little bit more professional if you're selling this. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But it was so crazy because we would show them like pictures of people that were like inactive in our thing. Like we had like the pictures of like the best looking people, but also these it would be like these old men, and they would actually have to come in and like swipe through the library, and they'd like pick ones and like want to send messages, and it was like all these young women, and I was like, this isn't magic. Like this, if it doesn't work in real life, like it's not going to work here. So it was really sad too, because I would start to form like friendships with these people, and they'd call and be like, did anybody like message me back? And I'd have to be like, no, like it was.
Oh, that's
it was
really,
it was like such a weird, and I was also working like 7 days a week. So I was working Monday through Friday at the dating service, and then I was bartending Saturday and Sundays. So I had no free time. I had nothing, and I remember my dad being like, you're working too hard for me. And I still like wasn't making any money, like I wasn't saving anything. Like I still was like scraping by to pay like my like $900 rent or whatever I was paying. And I remember my friend Hallie was in New York, and she was supposed to be moving back to LA to go to graduate school to be a therapist. And she was like, we had like a group email going on our Hotmails, and which I still have. I think they've all graduated. But she was like, let's go. She's like, does anybody want to go to Hawaii for like a month? And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm in. And I told my dad, and I remember I was like, Dad, what do you think if I go to Hawaii for a little bit? He's like, absolutely. He's like, you're working too hard. He's like, you're working too much. He's like, go have some fun. So we were only going to go for a month, and we literally moved out there with a place to stay. We only had a place to stay for 5 days. We moved on my 25th birthday. We had a place to stay for 5 days. And then after that 5 days, then we found this other place. And then after that, we found this apartment that we had to sign a lease for 7 months. And we were like, all right, I guess we're here for 7 months. And then after 7 months, like you couldn't have dragged us out of there. Like we were like, so then I was there for three years. She's still there, bought a house, got married, has 2 kids, owns a business. Yeah. But it was like, it was totally one of those things that it was just like, we were only going to go for a little bit because she was planning on moving back to LA to go to school. Mm-hmm. And she at one point did move off island, but she had just met this guy, and she moved off island, and she's like, I can't stop thinking about it. So moved back. And that's the guy she married and has 2 kids with now.
I feel like that, and that I've always said that that's my retirement plan, or like just an island. Like I just like islands.
It's the best. It's the best. Although Melanie's here, she's just like, she's like, it's so funny. She's like, I'm just looking at the clothes here because it's like, like it's just such a different, like she's like songs like they're still behind. Yeah.
Oh, Melanie still lives in Hawaii.
Yeah. She's still on Maui.
One of my best friends lives in St. Croix, and that's why I go there every year.
Yeah. I want to go.
And she, same thing. They only have Kmart and like a local island boutiques.
Yeah, there's Wet Seal on Maui.
And they only can get shipped to from like Forever 21 and like one other store.
Oh my God.
So they all have the same clothes. So when I come and I'm in something, I always know packing is going to be really easy because nobody can, like if you wear heels, people are like, what are you doing?
No. It's all little clothes. You can fit everything in the background.
Everything's so tiny.
No, I remember living on Maui, and like when I would come to visit my parents in San Francisco, going to Target and being like, because when you're in LA and you wear Target, like they're pretty like identifiable. Not that like I still love Target. I love Target, and it seems like their clothes are getting better, but I remember going to Target being like, I can buy all these dresses. Like it was so fun because like there wasn't a Target on Maui. Now there is, but like there wasn't. It was so fun.
So what's the earliest like great party Casey story that we can toss out there?
Oh my God. Fuck, man. The earliest, like literally the first time I got drunk, like really drunk, I think it was like in 8th grade, and our friends bought us 40s. And I remember like all my friends were laughing at me because I think I literally had like a Nike like windbreaker jacket on. Like I was just a mess. And I remember like, I was like, I drank this 40 and I was like, and I think I kept like falling, and I like didn't know if I was drunk or if I was like pretending to be drunk. But then my mom picked us up, and I was like, Mom, you're such a good mom. You're such a good mom. And she was like, you're hammered. She's like, you're not this nice to me. And I was like, you're just such a good mom. And she was like, okay, you're hammered. I remember that. But like, oh my God, party.
That was about the same age I started drinking. Not 8th grade, but 9th grade for sure.
Yeah.
8th grade, the summer between 8th grade and 9th grade was when I was a student ambassador in Europe.
Oh, man.
And then I had my first taste of rum cake over there. And then it was just fucking bucket.
Just getting drunk
game
on
over.
pastries.
Like the French do. And
Like the French. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, there's so many, like I said, I'm just surprised people are still friends with me because I feel like I was just like, I was just crazy. I remember I drunk dialed my history teacher in high school one time. Oh my God, I just remembered I queefed last night in front of my friends, but I used to teach people how to queef when I was in high school. Like I would set up shop, I'd put a pillow under my butt and just start queefing. And they were like, and they told the whole school, of course, but like, I guess I didn't care at the time.
And then you started charging.
No, yeah. I was like, come say the freak show. I was just like in the bathroom, but yeah, I showed them last night. I forgot that until just right now. Were you awake when I queefed last night? Oh, it was a big one. It was good. I always try to tell Robbie too. I'll be like, Robbie, look what I can do. And he's like, stop making that face. And I'm like, don't you want to hear it? He's like, I really don't. Like, and I was like, okay, whatever, but I'm going to do it anyway.
You're like, well, classy women can queef too.
What'd you say?
I said classy women can queef
yes,
too.
That's been like one of my party tricks forever. Like teaching like even the camping trip that I'm going on for Father's Day next weekend is like all my girlfriends that I've literally known longer than my sister, like because we've grown up together, like since we were like sperm. And I remember we were all like lying on a tennis court when we were like 12, and I was like, just lift your hips up and make your stomach look like a pear and like suck in. And they were like, what? I would teach queefing classes.
You should do like
I should make a website.
I just
Queef
had a
on
visual
command.
of you collecting all these queefing girlfriends at Christmas time and going door to door, just queefing Christmas carols.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not into it. I'm not saying it's not a possibility, Tosh. Oh my God, yeah. In high school, I used to queef, and so I do remember this one time we all got drunk, and like I was queefing for everybody, and then I drunk dialed my history teacher, who was also my soccer coach. Oh my God. And he's like, Casey, and I was like, well, what's up, Mr. Harrington? And he's like, what do you do? Like, and he totally like was fun because he also like over the summer there was like these backpacking trips, and so he also like led those, and so we were like pretty good, like we're friends, but I mean he was still my teacher and my soccer coach, but like I drunk dialed him, and I remember I went to school like on the next day, and he was like looking at me, later that week, and he was like, and I was like, I don't know.
I never
You can't drunk dial your teacher.
You can. I mean, you
That's
just have to be
crazy.
careful because
now
our school had some shit go down.
Oh yeah.
It was after I was in it, but
yeah.
Nowadays I hang out and drink with my old choir teacher and my old language arts teacher. Like
Really?
I love them both.
Oh my God.
I love a lot of my teachers.
That's so funny.
But there's like 3 more I would love to have drinks with.
Yeah. Every so often when I'm back in the city, because San Francisco, I mean, now it's changing, but it's such a small city that like every so often, like I'll walk into a bar in San Francisco and there's like an old teacher there that's like really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's always weird when you first see a teacher in a bar. Because when I first became of age and I went back to my hometown, I saw my language arts teacher who I was really close to in high school in the bar, and I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, oh, I can be here now. I guess like they can see me. They can see me in a bar now.
You're like, this is fine. I have an ID. I have a real ID. It's fine.
I'm legal.
Oh my God.
But it was just such a weird phenomenon to like see teachers in the wild, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah. I remember seeing this one teacher. And he was like the teacher that like everybody loved. Like he was the shit. He used to let me grade people's projects. It was very funny.
Oh, that's
like,
amazing.
yeah, I remember we were watching people give projects and he was like, write a grade. And I'd be like, give him, I was like, no, B+ and stuff like that. But I remember seeing him out one time and I was so excited. And I was like, I think I like hugged him and he was like, it was, yeah. Like, cause it was like in San Francisco, like I said, there's certain nights where like everybody, you know, we'll go to like one bar or something like that. And it's just like a fucking who's who of like reunions. I actually haven't been back and done one of those in a while. Cause there's still like the night before Thanksgiving, everybody, you know,
everybody's home.
There's certain bars that like, there's like one bar that I've been going to since I was 16 and because it's like owned by my parents' friends and all this stuff. And it was, I remember one time, like, I think the owner was like, told my dad, he was like, hey, your daughter was in here last night. I think she threw up. And he's like, you know, she's 16, right? And he's like, okay. Like, you know, like it was full on in the bar. Like they knew we were all like, you had to have known, like we had acne, you know, being like ordering sex on the beaches. I think at one point he just gave me juice. It was the same
thing in our town. And my uncle owned a fucking, not a bar, but like a liquor store.
Yeah.
And my uncle was he's kind of like, not a strange, that's not the right word for it, but like he is, my cousins would have a better word for it, but he just kind of doesn't like hang out with the family a ton, or when he does, he doesn't talk a ton.
Right.
So he's kind of like removed from conversation. So I started buying at his liquor store when I was 18. And he didn't ask me for an ID because he figured I must be old enough. Otherwise, why would I have the balls to walk into my uncle's liquor store?
Right.
And he like couldn't equate my age because he just assumed I was older than his daughter, which I was. But he just didn't think about it.
That old.
Yeah. So just like I never got caught. I used to buy from so many people. I feel bad if anybody.
Do you remember buying up? Oh my God. Do you remember what, I remember in San Francisco, there was this one store that would sell to us. So it's like you had to go out of your way to go to this one store before you went to the party. And it was always it was like, 7 girls sharing a flask of vodka being like, we're so wasted. Like it was like crazy. Or like I'd get like a cider or something like that. But it was so crazy because they would sell, it was like our whole high school knew about this one thing. It's like they had to have known that it was just like on Fridays, it was like only teenagers walking in. But it was like a child work. Like I don't think they cared. Like I think the grown-ups were like in the back, but it was literally like a third grader like ringing us up. You know what I mean? Like it was like, and this is like no joke. It was like a child working behind the counter. It's like I don't think they just even gave a fuck. But I remember it's like we'd have to go out of our way. And it was a store in Oak and Divisadero. And so it was Oak and Divis. And so we would go and we'd get, something. And then we would go party under, it's so funny because it's like the Palace of Fine Arts. It's like if you look at any calendar or any picture of San Francisco, it's like this big dome and this gorgeous like pond around it. And it's like, and that's where we used to throw kegs under. And it was crazy. It's like it's like a San Francisco, like people go to like visit there. It's like a landmark,
like a gorgeous place. Oh my God,
we would throw kegs in the fucking pond. We were assholes.
It's almost like we lived parallel existences, but in different places. Like you had yours in a cool city like San Francisco.
And you were in Wisconsin.
You were under a picturesque like national monument, and we were just in a cornfield, but same shit.
Same shit, girl. It was like the Palace every year. And it was so funny because every like Saturday night, there was this big like rollerblading thing that like 100 rollerbladers would come and just like circle our party. And we were in high school, we were like, bleh, like we would like yell at them and stuff like that. It was just like, it was a bizarre childhood, but I always appreciated my parents because I never had to lie to them. Like they always remembered, like my dad was like, I remember what it was like to be 15. So like, they just would be like, be careful. They're like, don't do pot, like be careful. Don't get in a car with anybody that's drinking. But like, I could be like, I'm going to a party. I'm going to a keg. And it was always so weird because I can't remember in high school, I'd be like, I'm going to a keg at the bottom of a valley. Like kegs we threw kegs on like mountains. Like it was crazy. Like, there was it's just very, very funny where like how that there would be like a couple boys that would carry this big keg to the top of like a fucking like mountain or to the bottom of like a valley. Like it was
anywhere that was empty. There was times that we would throw keggers in like abandoned houses. Or like obviously like farms, cornfields, and then like sheds, like people's sheds that were far away from the house where the parents wouldn't even see. We'd park like in the cornfield and then like I got shot by a BB gun at one of these parties.
Oh yeah.
It was like, that's just what happened though. That's just a chance you take when you party in Wisconsin.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just a chance you take when you party around immature fucking boys going through puberty. Yeah. Like I remember one time at the Palace, somebody threw a bottle and like, why? There's a group of people, like they threw a bottle up like against one of like the pillars or something like that. And it shattered and it like hit a girl in the forehead. And it's just like, now we can't play no more. Like what are we doing?
We can't have nice things.
Yeah. But I also remember like the cops would come and everybody would run. And I was like, they're just clearing us out. And I remember just walking.
Oh, I would run.
Everybody cops. And everybody like freaks out. And I was like, they're not going to get all
I would either
of us.
run or I would hide. Like I was a pretty decent hider. There was one party that I found an antique closet upstairs of this old Victorian house in the middle of nowhere. God. And I burrowed underneath the shit in the closet and like hid in there for like 2 hours. It was basically like the most horrifying thing that I've ever had to do, hide in the dark.
Hide in the closet.
But it was back when you had like the Nokia flip phones.
Oh, yeah,
that just never died. So I was like, I never had the fear that my phone would die. I was just like, I could be in here for a day and I could still have my phone.
I know. We were just, Melanie was just talking about how flip phones, she's like, those things lasted forever. Like you could charge them like once a month.
My friend gave me one as a prop the other night and I was pretending to answer it the whole night. Yeah. And I was like, I miss this. The action of flipping it open.
She said her husband had like a Razor phone and he's a teacher and he was like, guys, this is the new iPhone. They were like, what? Cool. And like all that stuff. And it was like an old like flip phone. I was like, That's so funny.
I hope that's what we go back to. I want a
love
$4 a
the
month, but I want a $4 a month
God,
plan.
remember?
Oh, nothing used to cost anything.
I will say though, like a couple years ago, I had my phone go down and I had to go back to a flip phone. I will say texting is a pain because you have to go through all 3 letters. Remember that?
Yeah,
I will
T9.
say like, I will say that when I was doing that, I was like, what do I do? What did I do to deserve this? I was like, I could never. I was like, it took me 5 minutes to be like, I'll be there in 5. You know, like I was like, I can't believe it is really funny that we did live much simpler
Yeah.
before. But yeah, like I will say that like going back to texting T9, I was like, I'll die.
Yeah. And I used to be really good at it. I was like fire fingers back in the day. I could text blindly.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I've completely lost that skill.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. I can't, I still can only do with one. The people that do 2 thumbs, like I can't even.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do 2 things with my hands. It's crazy.
So, okay, let's see.
Yeah.
When did you decide that you wanted to get into comedy? When was that point?
It was in college, but it wasn't like really my choice to do it. Like I was always, funny in conversation and people were like, you're funny, you should do stand up. I was like, that requires work. Like I was terrified at the thought of like writing something and putting it out there and not being funny. I also was like, I don't want to do it in front of anyone I know because if you guys already think I'm funny, I'll have no concept. But so it was like a fundraiser for our theater department and like everybody was doing it. Like a bunch of us were doing it. And I remember it being like really fun and it like went well. I wish I feel like there's somebody has a video somewhere, but I've never seen it, but I would love to see it. I have a video of my second time doing stand up because the comedy store, I was a bringer at the comedy store.
Yep.
And they used to film everything in the belly room.
Yep.
And they would make you your own DVD. Like I had like a title menu.
I have like 40 of them.
Yeah.
And
fun.
I was going to say next time you're in town, because I want to have like a sleepover where we all bring our first DVDs and watch them.
It might actually be at my dad's house.
I just archived mine into like this DVD like video game thing that Justin has of his old video games. And I just put all mine in the back. And I was like, these have got to be so embarrassing to watch. It'd be so fun to get drunk with everybody and watch them. Oh my God.
Well, I remember watching I remember getting the DVD and like watching it. And then it kind of like fucked me up because then I was trying to recreate what I did because I didn't know much about, like I had the jokes that I had.
Yeah.
But I also would always like I think my brain always was like, I would still just talk and like add in things, that were like, that ended up like working. And so I would try to like, recreate whatever moves that, you know what I mean? And then it kind of like fucked me up because I was like, oh, then I'm not actually in the moment, which is why this one was fun.
And
you know what I
what's
mean?
so good about watching you is you're good about being in the moment.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to lean in a little bit more to like whatever's just happening in my brain and in my body. I'm like, am I leaning? Am I? I'm trying to like lean into it more. But yeah, when I first started and I saw this video of myself and what I was doing, I was like, oh, I'll do that. I liked the way that, and you can't do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't.
For some
recreate
people,
organic moments.
Some people only do the same thing, but some people aren't designed to do that.
Well,
everybody's different.
I was trying to mimic. Yeah, I was trying to mimic myself. I was trying to mimic my ad libs, and I was like, oh, you can't because but I didn't know enough to like make the ad lib a line or a tag or whatever. I didn't know enough at that point. Like I was just literally trying to mimic my own body movements, and then I was just like the next,
robotic looking.
Yeah, the next 2 times I went on stage after I watched that video, I was like, I was like, oh, I hated that, and then I got really. And then I used to always like get nervous. I used to always like drink before. Like I would have like a beer or 2.
Oh yeah.
And now that's not something I don't really like to even drink before I go. I mean,
me either now.
I've done it, but I'm not like a huge fan of it because I think at one point, like a lot of people in my college in the theater department were like trying stand up. So like we all got put on like this bringer at the comedy store. There was like 5 of my friends from the theater department at Long Beach and we were all on it. And I think my ex-boyfriend was at the show with like his new girlfriend. So I think I got like too drunk. I forgot a punchline. I think I almost fell off the stage. Like, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Those are the best. Yeah. I was like, oh, I don't like the way that feels.
Early days of comedy.
Yeah. But I also I just had no idea what I was doing because I was only doing it once a month. But and then I moved to Hawaii. So, and then I did it like a handful of times in Hawaii, but it'd always be like at a Mexican restaurant with like me and my friend's dad.
Yeah.
I had like index cards and I would do like a half hour of just Panda, like
random material.
Yeah. And like in Hawaii material. I remember like my favorite joke in Maui was like that they opened a Panda Express on our side of the island and people treated it like it was a fucking club. Like it was like crazy. And I remember I had like a whole bit about it, but it was like kind of, some island stuff, some of my old stuff. Like the first time I did stand up on Maui, it did not like all of my friends came to see it. It was like fucking packed. And I remember I remember watching it back being like, oh, that wasn't that good. But I hadn't done it in like a year.
Yeah.
And then I remember I did it again, and I remember I accidentally stole a guy's joke. Like I was like, because it's like a lot of the same concepts of like how dumb people were when they visited. And I remember like telling this joke, and I remember the guy that came up after me. I had heard him I had heard him say it, I guess, like, and so subconsciously when I was like trying to do a bit about it, like I accidentally took what he had said.
Yeah.
I mean, I added some more stuff to it. But I remember being like, "Oh my god, that sucked. I'm so sorry." Like, but it was, yeah. I was a joke stealer in Maui on accident.
Good for you. That's why you had to leave the island
On accident. Yeah, I was chased out.
Have you performed back since you've like established yourself?
No. And when I was visiting last summer, I like asked my friend, because there's like a tiny little scene, and there's this girl Corky that I used to like do show, like that I would put on my shows. Yeah, who's kind of like she's like the girl, like whenever a comic comes to like the Mac, she like opens up for them and stuff like that. And she was always like really funny. But I remember asking her, but I didn't have, I actually have to renew my license while I'm in California, but I didn't have a license. So I couldn't borrow my friend's car to leave. And we were like up, like kind of like far away from everything. But she was like, yeah, there is a mic here and there's kind of like a show here, but I didn't get to go. But I really want to. I want to go back and like perform. But it's also like, I think about it and I'm like, you know, because now that I'm living in New York, a lot of my jokes are kind of about New York, which I've tried to, I mean, I've tested them in other places and they still kind of like work, but I'm wondering how they would work on Maui since
right.
When I'm like, I'm mad about everything and everyone on Maui is like, we don't care about anything.
Don't care.
You know, like, I'm like, will it work?
Well, and that's why like
but Melanie will laugh.
When I did my show on St. Croix, you know, I geared like a whole section towards the end of stories from like my past on the islands because I was like,
you have to kind of cater.
Yeah, you can kind of have to just like throw in some anecdotes and then they're like, oh, cool. We'll hear about you make fun of LA as long as you bring it back to some sort of island culture or something that they can relate to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because I have a friend that runs, when I first started comedy, I performed at like all the gay bars in Chicago because all the gay guys were so supportive of art and whatever. And they would give me so much stage time and it was awesome. My friend owned this bar called Scarlet and they opened one in Honolulu. And I've been messaging him and been like, I really want to come out. Because
Honolulu also has like, they have like a certain, I don't know if they still have it, but they had like a club over there. They had like a comedy club that people would go. Yeah, because it's like a little bit more of like a city. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Maui, it's like just a bar or whatever. Yeah. That's like, you know, that they do.
Which is fine too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Let me know if you ever go to Honolulu.
All right. We're planning Chicago, Madison, and then Hawaii.
Yeah. We're going to do a Chicago.
They're
Chicago,
really close
Wisconsin,
to each other.
Hawaii tour coming in 2019. It'll be great.
Did you have role models? Did you have people that you kind of looked up to in like the entertainment field?
I mean, I think when I was younger, I wanted to do more like, I thought I was going to be like an actress. Like I wanted to be, you know, I mean, I had like the actress singer dreams, you know? And so like, yeah, I mean, I was a huge Debbie Gibson fan. Posters of her all over my wall. I was like, I am her. She is me. We are together. You know, and then I always like loved like Julia Roberts and like Robin Williams. Like, I mean, I had like those, but I also like, was a big soccer player, so it was like Mia Hamm, you know, like I also had like those, but so I had like some like sports role models too. But I always wanted to like, I always just thought I was going to be like an actress. Like Academy Award winning.
That's what I thought first
too. Writing my speech when I was 2.
Well, and fuck, like it's easy to get confused when you're younger because like I was in dance, I was hip hop dancer, and I was like, I'm gonna be the next Fly Girl, and so like I was doing hip hop like every single day, and in college, this some guy met me and he's like, you're a dancer, do you sing too? I was like, I can sing. So I put out one record. I never got released or anything.
You have a record?
I have a record and I have no idea where to find it.
Oh my God. But you have to find it.
This producer like put together like it sounded like a 1980s like hack job Prince background and like it told me to write lyrics to it and I was like, the song
like Dr. Seuss
was so funny. I mean, it's so I would love to find it.
Yeah. I know like when I go home this weekend, actually my dad wanted me to be there an extra day because he's like, I want to watch old home videos. He's like, I just converted them.
Oh,
so, and I know, and I
fun.
remember they're half of me. It's just me being like, film me. And then I'm just like singing off key, like Bad to the Bone. Like I vividly remember this one time. I'm like, the day I was born. He's like, how long is this going to go on? And I remember me and my dad, I remember getting in this huge fight with him because I just kept making, I'd be like, film me. And he's like, are you going to do something different? And I was like, yes. And then I would just do the same thing. And he got so mad at me one time that I was like, film me. And he's like, okay, what are you going to do? And I remember like, yeah, I think I just like did a cartwheel. And he was like, what the fuck? I mean, thinking back, I'm like, why did he get so mad at me? But like, I remember getting this big fight because I just kept being like, I want to film me. I want a camera. And he's like, I need variety. He's like, show me something else. And
I think
like,
I hope that there's I want to be able to track down some of the shit I used to do with my friends because we used to prank people on State Street in Madison with like an old school big video camera.
Yes.
And like all sorts of stuff. And I know there's VHSs just strewn about my hometown somewhere. And I just want to find them all.
Go find them. Go convert them. Because like I think there's like that thing that you can convert the VHS to like a DVD. I mean, nobody has DVD players anymore. But like,
right.
It's so crazy. Like how do we watch? That's what like home videos now before. Like, I mean, I know everything's on our phone, but like, honestly, like how do you save everything? Like, and then they just go on your computer. Like,
I know.
I mean, because I have old computers that have a lot of stuff on them that I just don't take, that I ever took out. Like
old phones, like
just,
with old pictures.
I have tons of old phones with old pictures that I just don't have, like, because they're just there.
Yeah, they're just in the phone. They just die with the phone.
They die with the phone. I want them back.
Okay, so let's see. You and I are going to be in New York again soon together.
Yes.
What would you say you want to happen next in your career?
I'd love a late night set. That would be a fun thing.
Are you working towards building that?
I sent a thing. I need to keep, like, I need to tighten up the one that I want to do and refilm it. But I did send a film. A
whole VHS.
I sent a film to a man.
Oh my God.
I sent it, but I also know that like he could never get back to me or he could get back to me in like a year. Like the first time Robbie sent in his clip, he didn't get back for like a year. And then sometimes he's like it gets back right away. So,
yeah, I could see you doing.
But I also like don't have management. So I'd love to like also grab like.
Oh, you don't anymore?
No.
I thought you did in New York.
No. I haven't had a manager.
Holler out there, managers, if you're listening.
Come at me. I can queef on command. I repeat, my skills include queefing.
Well, I was gonna say when we come out to New York next, what like
you want to queef?
We should do something. We should set up something fun that we can do together. I don't know where or what, but maybe some sort of like 2-person Casey and Natasha musical.
I'm writing a musical on The Bachelor. I'm writing a Bachelor musical.
Shut up.
Sure am. I'm sure doing that.
Are you going to put it up somewhere like a Fringe?
I want to. I mean, I want to just like rent a little space. I'm also helping my friend on another musical loosely based on Helen Keller. I got a lot of plans. There's a lot of things happening in my life. So if you're a manager and you have an interest in a Bachelor or Helen Keller musicals, fucking come at me.
Maybe mush the two together. Helen Keller is the Bachelorette.
Oh my God. Nobody would be there for the right reasons. Nobody would be there for the right reasons. It would be utter chaos. It would be chaos.
I can't stop laughing.
I know. So yeah, no, the Bachelor musical, I want to just like put up at like a little place, but now that I have this new twist, I don't even fucking know what I'm going to do.
When I was living in Chicago, me and one of my guy friends, he was like my best guy friend at Second City.
Yeah.
And we would hang out every day together and he played guitar and we formed a 2-person band called the Blazars and we only played in public twice.
Blazars.
The Blazars. And we did like weird comedic remakes of songs.
I love it.
We played at our friend's cafe like twice. And he and I had in our hearts, we had set on creating a Weezer musical.
Yes.
Because their songs are so ridiculous. To make a storyline out of their songs would be amazing. Like, you destroy my sweater.
Because like, but that's all, like a lot of musicals, that's what a lot of them are. You know what I mean? Like that's what like Mamma Mia was just a musical created around the songs. They had like a Billy Joel one. They had a Green Day fucking musical.
Yeah.
There's a Donna Summer musical. They're doing a Cher musical now. There's a Britney Spears musical on the way. Like everything's a fucking musical. Musicals are hot.
They are so hot.
So I'm doing a Bachelor one.
I'm really excited about that actually.
It's pretty, it's just all the girls are named Lauren and they're all orphans. It's crazy.
What's your favorite thing that you've worked on so far? Because you did do a musical with like Bill Dawson.
I did. I did a musical about stand-up comedy, which was like my fucking dream. And I think we're doing it again for Skankfest in July. But that was one of my favorite things that I've ever done. Because I was like, just not to like steal Gary Goldman's quote, but like, are you reading my dream journal? Like, like that is everything I've ever wanted to do. That was one of my favorite things. I mean, I guess also like I'm just trying to think what it. Like there's been, I feel like I've done a lot of fun projects, cool things. I just feel excited to be thought of for things, you know, even just stupid things like Gotham has been so nice to me and booking me in their like external things. Like they sent me, to the Borgata. They just did this. They're starting this virtual reality thing on Oculus.
Oh, so yeah, you were telling me about this. It's so cool.
So it's Gotham Comedy. It's like essentially it's filmed. It's a packed crowd, but there's also it's a packed crowd in the audience, and then there's a camera set up that's also filming to like these people that have the goggles, and essentially what it looks like to them is it's like a stadium of like these avatars that these people have created, and they can, if they look around, it's like they're in the club.
They can see the other avatars.
They can see the other avatars.
This is an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. I've never watched the show, but everyone was like, it's crazy. Because I tried on the goggles and looked at, watched Giannis's set from the week before, and it looks like a hologram. Like it's crazy. So that's like, it's just kind of fun to be thought of, to be part of some like the first thing. Cause I think that was the second show that they did. So I felt really lucky to be thought of, to be like, as part of it. So yeah, there's like a lot of, I just, I'm really excited to be part of the New York scene. I guess that's a really exciting, like I said, I never hated LA. I always felt like I got a lot of, I got a lot of stage time out here, and I never hated it. And it makes you stronger when you start in one of the bigger markets. You know what I mean? Like starting in LA, you could really only go to New York. Like I could never go back to San Francisco to try to get the, you have to be in one place or the other after you start in like a smaller market. But I feel very excited to be part of the New York scene. Like I
really like the New York scene, and I've been debating if I should move out there for a while too, just because it's a whole different ballgame.
It's if you want to do stand up, that's where you should be. But if you want to do it,
but I also work in commercial and in TV.
So you need to be here.
That's what sucks. And I like California because it's fucking warm.
Yeah, there's pants and jackets in New York. It's a lot. Like I was telling Melanie, like from Maui and LA, like I never wore pants, and I moved to New York and I had to wear pants, and now I'm like weird with short. Like I'm like, who have I become? Like I was a pantsless person. Like, and now I'm all pants. I'm summertime pants. I hate it.
Yeah.
Like I've started to become like less comfortable performing in like dresses and shorts and stuff like that. So and it makes me sad because I don't want to wear pants. What are we doing? Are we on time?
I was just asking how much time we have.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're at an hour? Okay, sweet. Well, I guess we've talked a lot.
We have. I'm not a role model. To sum it up, I'm not a good role model.
Okay, I guess we should sum it up. So
I did work at a summer camp, and I feel like those kids learned a lot from me.
Well, that's the thing is this is the whole reason why I was like, why this idea, because this name is going to be my future book of like books that I started writing when I was 14. Yeah. Of all like my fuck ups and stuff. Yeah. But somebody called me a good role model like a couple months ago, and they were like, I want my kid to meet you. And I was like, what?
No, yeah, you're like,
no, I'm sloppy and like
I'm sloppy.
Super flawed. And I was like, but I'm boisterous about it. Like I won't ever deny any of it. Yeah. And she's like, that's what kids need to learn. And I was like,
pretend.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Then, from the fires, Casey she started a fire at a wedding. And we were talking about this before the podcast started.
One time I got arrested.
And I was like, well, the next time I have you back, we'll have to tell. Have you been arrested more than that one time?
No, but we did get a ride home in the back of a cop car one time, but that's just because my friend was like passed out drunk.
I'll have to have like multiple guests that have had arrest stories because I've been arrested, I think 4 times. Not mugshot arrested, but like all involving drinking or public intoxication or underage drinking or whatever have you. Yes. And it's funny. And those are great stories. And I'm like, I would never. One of the kids that I used to babysit and mentor growing up, their dad's partner arrested me on one of the times. Perfect. So that's a perfect future role model situation.
Absolutely.
He came into my house and lectured me afterwards. Was like, my daughters look up to you. And he was really cool about it. It would like kind of slap me into shape. Sometimes you need adults to be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Sometimes, man.
Okay, so coming up, where can people find you live? Because this episode is coming out tomorrow.
Oh, well, I'm in LA tomorrow night. So Tuesday night, I'm at the Comedy Store for
12th.
Stand Up on the Spot, but it's already sold out because Joe Rogan's on it and his fans
shit.
are psychopaths. So that tomorrow, Stand Up on the Spot, Wednesday, Woman Crush Wednesday at the Improv Lab, and then I think I'm doing that Milk Tavern. I don't even know if it's called Milk. I had that in my head, but maybe not. But so that, and then back in New York, and and then I think my only like road date coming up is I'll be in Tampa, Florida at Side Splitters, August 9th through the 12th.
Oh, sweet.
So, and in between there, I'm just kicking it.
Cool.
I was wearing all my new clothes and my brain gaming.
We'll get to have some more adventures in New York soon.
Yes.
And where can people find you on social media?
At Casey Balsham on Venmo, and then I'm at CaseFaceB on Instagram. CaseFaceB. That's the name I chose.
And we actually did a podcast together in New York.
We
last
did. Oh yeah, the
week, or
Weekend Sex. It just came out.
Just came out today.
He asked us to plug it, so there it is.
So there it is, the Weekend Sex. So also listen to that, the Weekend Sex, and hear stories about us sexually, not involving the queefing. We didn't talk about the queefing.
We didn't.
And
we talked about waxing or something.
Yeah, we talked about waxing and steaming of the vaginas. So that's a whole nother section of comedy.
Dumpling.
And you can find me at NPH Comedy. You can follow the studio at Comedy Pop-Up or CPU Podcasts. And you can follow the podcast at Future Role Model. And we are done. Goodbye.
Bye. And we are done.